Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Hi, good day everyone. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Dr. Nihal, I'm a clinical psychologist, therapist, and speech and language therapist. And today we have a very interesting guest because she looks so positive and she all the time talk about young children, young adults. So let's see what she have for us today. And today we are going to talk about how we are going to build a confidence in a child. So she's basically educational psychologist, and we will like why we would I would like her to talk a little bit about herself, and we will go to the topic because we have a little delay just because of some technical difficulty. Thank you so much, Jessica, from all the way from USA, from New Jersey, if I'm not wrong.
California.
Oh
So,
yes, see, California actually. Yes, yes. See, I am a little bit trembling because of the technicalities issue, because I was a little bit nervous also. But thank you so much for agreeing us. Oh, okay, so uh, you are you are basically from California. No, I'm wrong. I'm right. And according to you, strong mind, strong brain, and strong human being. So let's talk about confidence. How parents are going to build confidence in their children, or let's talk about why confidence is important for the children, for young children especially. Can we talk about that?
yes. So, first of all, Dr. Khan, thank you so much for inviting me on to have this important conversation. I do want to let your audience know that I am a licensed educational psychologist working here in California. And I also am a school psychologist working in public schools here. So I do a lot with children and families, especially children with special needs or who have
Okay.
special education. So I do a lot with helping children with autism and learning disabilities. But one thing I love talking about is building child confidence because, like you said, there's so many benefits to having a child who is confident in their own ability. So, number one, it's important to help your child build confidence because when they have confidence, they can recover from setbacks or if something goes wrong, they're not going to stay in that negative state, become depressed, develop all this anxiety. They're going to be able to deal with it in a healthy way and get back up, not stay down, right? And then also, when children are confident, what we know from research is that they will try new experiences, they will try taking on challenges. So then they're learning, they're growing because they're putting themselves out there with confidence and they're not afraid. And then also, how about this part? It affects their mood. They're happier when they're more
Yes, yes, yes.
confident and they have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
exactly.
of positive energy. So
Yeah, exactly.
benefits.
So I get why this from where this positive energy is coming, because I'm also working with children. I know this energy. So this energy is something because um, yesterday I was talking to someone, and she told me that a person should be. It's not like should be, when you are working with in a special in a field, then you have to have some kind of personality for that thing, because everybody cannot be a good psychologist, everybody cannot be a good educational psychologist, and especially everybody is not good with children who have special needs, because it take a lot for you to work with them. Because before your session, like I was told, at that time I was having some technical difficulties. I was talking to, I was giving the example of children who I was working with, and there was an autistic child, and he have a lot of issues. And the issue was that, uh, according to a lot of wherever, I don't know about that psychologist or that therapist who was working with the child, according to them, if the child learn to speak, then he's okay, he can do anything, because there's the only problem. But the point was that just because of that reason, the behavior part was missing, and confidence is also coming in behavior thing. Like it's a behavior behavior portion, we could say. So what was, the child was very, very, very intelligent, exceptionally intelligent. I mean, there was a picture in our therapy room, and he know about every fish, every crab. He knew the name of these crab. He knew the name of every fish, and he knew even the name of the lobster types even. And I was so happy to learn everything from him. But just because of the reason that he was not able to, he don't have that confidence to sit in the class, or he don't have that confidence that I can sit in alone in that class. He was refused by the school, many school. I mean, maybe the child have above average IQ level. I mean, non-speaking doesn't mean that you don't have good IQ. Autism doesn't mean that you cannot excel in something. So just because of that reason, the child came to me, and he was one day. You know what he was saying? He was so angry. He was showing a lot of tantrums, and like he may hit me, and did other stuff like that. And I just said to him, hitting is not a good thing. It is a bad thing. I just said this to him, and at the end of the session, he said, "Sorry, I hit you." I said, "It's okay," but I said, "Don't hit other people again." And one day he was saying that he was again showing temper tantrum. I said, "What happened?" He was not able to tell me what happened to him. After everything, after the whole meltdown and temper tantrum thing passed down, he said that I am not crazy, and he
Mm,
came to me, start crying, and he literally melted in my hand. Like
mm.
just kind of panic thing, and just when a child have that tantrum and he melt down in a state, and after that the child have no energy. And I said, "Who told this to you?" He said, "Everybody's saying me, yeah, you are crazy." I'm not crazy. So, like, that is the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. And then it's interesting you say that because the first thing that stood out to me when you were telling me this situation was that you waited until he calmed down
Yeah,
before you had a conversation. So I know that
yeah,
we're not here to talk about when is the right time to shape or change behavior or even have those types of corrective conversations with kids,
yeah,
but definitely when they're in meltdown mode, they cannot learn. They don't have a rational brain at that time. So we
yeah,
do have to wait until they're calm. And then also, there's so many stigmas with children with special needs. And it's so important that a parent, we're talking about the role of the parent, that the parent
yeah,
is the one saying, hey, you have so much to give to society. You have so many talents. You are so talented in this way, and showing them how they are strong, how they have talents, what they're good at. And that's what I talk about a lot with my program. I talk to parents and I say, hey, too many times we're focusing on what they can't do. Too much energy goes into what they can't do. How do you feel when somebody is focused on what you can't do? How do you feel when you're trying to do something that is extremely hard for you and and you don't get to do the things that you're naturally good at? Like for this kid, he's naturally good at
exactly.
the naming of those different
And the history,
creatures
and the
and the
history.
history.
I
Yes,
forgot to mention that.
and do more of that with him so that he can see how good he is at something. And
Yeah,
that's going to build his confidence even more. And we can use it to
yeah,
teach him new things.
exactly, exactly. And my target when I was working that child, my target was to integrate into so-called people with other, like that was a kind of test case for me also, because uh, usually children will come to me when they're younger, like they're small, like 3 years or maybe before the three, because I'm a speech therapist also, so I'm also working on that aspect also. I have to develop things eventually. But a child came to me, and that was different. That was the reason, because I was conducted by a normal school. Usually
Mm,
you are contacted by the parents, but school contacted me actually. And a lot of schools say that, okay, it's your own responsibility what you want to do with that child. But the principal was somehow psychologist, so she contacted me, and I just start working with that child. And he was sitting in a class where there was a his subject of history. and they were saying something about the present queen of you could say Britain queen, and said that she's dead. She said no, she's not dead. A girl said that she think that she's going to make him fool because he's not so called acting like other children. He said that she's dead, and he said no, he's not dead. She's not dead. You're lying. So there were a few other incidents because he was good in history, and it built a lot of confidence. Because whenever there was a history question, other question, he would say, "I want to tell, I want to tell, I want to tell." So the teacher asked the question, "Where a queen live?" He said, "In the castle, in the castle." Even he tell the name of that castle also, and he told the whole class that England have that many castles, and I think he knew the name of all them also. So that's how you can build the confidence. And I was so happy when I saw him sitting in the class. So happy because he was sitting in the class and waiting for his turn. That was a challenge for me. That was a challenge for teacher, and for the student also, because after that I will talk to like to talk about bullying, because those children who cannot talk about themselves, they face bullying, and I have to talk to all of the class that you should not say this to him. And I will communicate with the student that everybody is different, we all are different. So he cannot communicate the way you are communicating, he cannot do certain things you are doing, but you have to be very receiving and giving us. So you have to make him friend. And the moment he start class, start listening to me or the teacher, they start talking about games, and he knew all the games, he knew everything, and they start making friend with each other. So as a school psychologist, like you said, that you're working with, and it gives you so much happiness that the child is growing, because a child can grow, they have every kind of potential. But like you said that instead of putting your energy on the child cannot do this, oh, the child cannot do this, the child cannot do, how about how we focus with what the child can do. It could be music, it could be art, it could be history, you know it could be thinking, it could be anything. So we have to because as a therapist I take it as leverage. I will always use this thing in my therapy, and it helped me a lot. So that is the
Yeah.
secret why because I just posted a video and somebody asked me, is he your child? I said no, he is my patient. And he said that she said that he's so comfortable with you. And I said that without that relationship I cannot help him out to do something, because that's how I can do. Because we cannot change things, but we can help them to learn some skill. So let's little bit talk about bullying, because those children who cannot speak about themselves, speak up for themselves, who cannot tell somebody that they are hurt, or other person or people are targeting them, they are getting into bullying also. So what you can do about that, what a parent can do about it, because over here we are talking about parent role. So what a parent can do about bullying of their children, or how they can prevent this thing.
It's hard because when we say prevent bullying, that means that we're trying to control somebody else's behavior. And that we cannot control
Yeah.
somebody else's behavior, but we can control our response to the behavior. And
Exactly.
if bullying, I would
Yeah.
say, if bullying is an issue at a particular school, then the administrators need to do something about the system. But as far as a parent, for me, I know I have 4 children, first of all, and I have one child who has a speech and language communication delay. So he does not talk very much, and he's 5, and it is very hard for him, his expressive language. But as far as bullying, as a parent, first of all, building their confidence already is going to what we call bully proof them from feeling bad about themselves when these things happen, because they will be reminded, wait a minute, that person is telling me that I'm this or I'm that. This is not true. I know because I'm good over here. I have done these wonderful things and I know what I'm very good at. And so they can lean in to what they are already good at. They lean into their strengths to remember that whatever that person is saying about them is not true. It's all false because I have evidence that I can do a lot of things. So that's number one. Number two is with bullying, it's important to help the child know how to advocate for themselves. So you're building confidence. A person with confidence is going to have a different way about themselves. They're going to hold themselves differently. They're going to speak up more often. They're going to report things when they're not right. So we have to teach our kids, hey, if someone is bothering you, you already know that the things they may say about you are not true. Look at all the good things that you're doing. Look at all your talents. You must report when these things are happening so that the adults in their lives can do something about it, because it will take the adults. So having your child have this confidence will also better situate them to speak up, to advocate for themselves when things are not, when they notice things aren't right. Even if it's not them being bullied and it's they see it someone else being bullied, they still have the confidence and courage to speak up and speak out. So that's why it's so important for parents to encourage their children to advocate for things, doing things that are right, and speaking up for themselves.
So, do you think that because as a therapist, maybe we know that those children who are shy, or let's a little talk about, like you're talking about children who have needs, different additional or special needs. Let's talk about those children who are, uh, you know, uh, in the part of, the usual population, the average population. I'm talking about average people who don't have these kind of needs. Let's talk about those children because what we see over there is all the developmental milestones are met on time. Age appropriate activities also there. They got the skill to talk. They got the skill to communicate. Even they can, uh, you know, uh, give the response to that as well. But still, there are a lot of children who don't have confidence. I mean, confidence. Like nowadays, it's all about presentation. If you go a little bit, if you go to the university level, if you go to, if you're a sales manager, if you're working in a entrepreneur or whatever you have to do, every day, everywhere, confidence matters a lot. Or you could say speaking up for yourself, because confidence maybe might seem, a person who is confident, who can speak of their heart. This is what a usual definition. But for us, if a child raises his hand, it means the child is confident child. If a child is answering a question, it means that the child is a confident child. So what are the factors, what do you think are the factors, if we talk about school children, who that that if these are factors are present, then the child might lack somehow confidence. What would be the factors for a child not having confidence?
Well, children that I know, well, based on research, is based on what I've read in the research, individuals who lack confidence have not been, they have not been like groomed to have confidence. So maybe parents might be, and it doesn't always have to be the parent, but whoever is their primary care person might be unintentionally putting the child down often. Like the words that you say really hurts, focusing on all the things that are wrong with the child. So they kind of retreat, like, I'm not good enough. I can't do anything right. It's the words. It comes with the words that we use with children very early on. They're messages that we are sending with to them. And so when we're sending messages that they can't do anything right, or everything they do is wrong, or they're not good enough, why don't you do this like your brother, or anything that's going to make them like feel that retreat or feel like they're not good enough, it's going to put them in a situation where they don't feel like they can be energized, or that they can be courageous, because they feel like they're gonna mess up, and if they mess up, then it's all over. Also, some things that we do as parents sometimes that really impact the child's confidence is the way in which we the way in which we praise them. For example, So, for example, we might say, "Oh, you're so smart," right? I know that sounds good on the surface, but what it really means is if you're so smart when you're doing when you're getting all the answers right. As soon as you get one wrong, then what does that mean to the child? Oh, I'm not smart anymore. So then they retreat. So we have to be even careful about how we praise our kids so that they are building the courage and the confidence to even try hard things. Like math becomes very difficult over time, and some children do not want to even try because they don't want to fail. They're afraid to quote unquote fail or disappoint or not being good enough, not meeting the expectations. And so we have to be very mindful of our language, our words, and how we praise our children.
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Now,
So I would like to, because you just give an exam and a case is coming in my mind. I would like to talk about that, and I'm sure a lot of students, school going students, and maybe college going students are also maybe might face this problem. There was a girl who came to me, and she was a topper. I mean, maybe she topped her class in 10 years, in consecutive 10 years, you could say. And in one exam, she reached to the university level. In one exam, she failed, and she fell into severe depression. I mean, she start, she left talking to everyone. She used to stay at her home all the time. She was not talking to anyone. She even don't want to go to the university. She don't want to appear in the exam again. So what we could do about that, if let's say it's because same thing is that she lost confidence on herself. She can do it again, but what could be the factors, what are the contributing factors in that girl situation, how she reached to that situation, and what could be the solution for that situation?
that is a very interesting case because, first of all, I can tell you that the way that she was taught about her intelligence, just the language that parents don't know what we say to our kids, the type of expectations that we place on them matter. So for her mindset is where her barrier is. If she thinks I have to get straight A's in order to be smart, then what happens when you get a B? You crash and you burn. And how do you get back up? You don't, because you believe in your mind that all A's equals a B. Oh, I'm sorry, all A's equals smart. A B equals dumb. I can't because I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. However, research is telling us that we need to praise kids' process. Like, wow, you really put in a lot of effort, you studied hard. What happens when you get a bad grade? How can a parent talk to their kids to keep them encouraged and keep their confidence level up when they don't do well? This is what I would say, and this is based on research. It's called growth mindset. But we say, oh, wow, that was probably a very challenging test. What could you have done differently, or what can you do differently next time to improve? I can go back and talk to my professor about the things I didn't understand, and then I can learn. If we look at it as a learning process and not a succeed, fail dichotomy, is not a dichotomy. It's not either you're smart or you're dumb, you succeed or you fail. It's all about enjoying the learning process and understanding that you're not always going to get everything perfect, and it's okay. It's all about, in the process, how are you learning, where are your weaknesses, and then you mitigate that as much as you can, but also continue the learning process and focus on the things that you can control. Growth mindset.
Yes, this is exactly the right way to handle such a situation. But when um, we look at toward the society, because society is also playing a role to build your personality.
Mhm.
So, what is your opinion, or what you could say about that? That because most of the time, and when you look into the fear a human have, on the top is the fear of mistake. People are so afraid to commit mistake. So one factor is that, and I would like to take your opinion about that also. And what about the society? Because what people would say, what she's going to say about me, or maybe sometimes parents start comparing you with someone else, or you have some kind of role model which are not even appropriate, or you know appropriate to your time period. But even then, you're getting this vibe from the parents. Maybe you're getting this vibe from the society. In this situation, what a parent can do to, because at the end of the day, that is the parent and child who is going to affect from the whole situation. Because when you're depressed, just like we talk about that specific case, or when you have a child with the need who can do a lot, that he know a lot, you knew a lot of things. And I would like to quote another case over here also. I just recently came to know a mother who was called by a school. And over here it happens a lot, because without any giving you a valid reason, if the child is not behaving well. Because I'm from Pakistan, I'm telling you the culture which is prevalent in few areas, maybe a lot of areas you could say, because people don't have awareness. To be very honest, I don't need to lie about anything, because this is what is happening with these people. And that's why I just arrange these kind of sessions for the parents, so that understand the situation of the children. So she was called by the teacher and said that we cannot work with your child anymore. The child is not learning anything. The child don't understand anything. The child is not like, he was ADHD basically. So we are not going to work with that child. We don't understand him actually. He is not even sitting on the chair, and you can take your child home. So the mother said that just give me 6 months, just 6 months, and if the child don't perform well, then I can take back the child. And in this 6 months, the mother worked so hard on the child, and he is the outstanding student in the class. Because ADHD doesn't mean that you have intellectual disabilities, or ADHD doesn't mean that you cannot perform well. But the point is that, like you said that, and like we both are talking about the same thing, that over here somebody have to take a role. And like we're talking about the parents, either it could be a therapist, either it could be a parents. But what I believe, with therapist, the child is coming for maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or less than 2 hours. If you're giving multiple children with the child, what about those 22 hours where the child is with you, when the child is with the parent? That is the role, and that is a point we have to think a lot about that. And I think if you start looking toward the resources, we have a lot of resources. We have very good resources on the internet. And if you want to take help, you can take the help from these resources also. So okay, I would like to ask you a question that, okay, let's say that a parent, like I say that parent will get a call from the school that a child is not performing well, or stuff like that. How a child can help her, how a mother can help her child to be a confident child. I mean, if you'd say, three important or four important points which a mother can start working on. Or let me simplify this question. For example, there's a girl, and a lot of girls are shy, because maybe they have some kind of special needs. But over here, shyness is a good trait. A girl is not talking that she's a very good girl. She all the time listening to her mother. She's dependable on mother. They don't even get decided that the child might be autistic or ADHD, because you never know. But just because of a cultural thing, the girl is not diagnosed, or it could be other factor also. So what a mother could do about that girl, about that child, to make her a confident child?
First, I wanted to say, because you said some interesting things earlier. Comparing is so detrimental. It is very dangerous to compare our children to others. Very, very detrimental. That's very dangerous to do that. We should be encouraging them to improve themselves and not necessarily compare themselves to someone else. You can be inspired by someone else, but do not compare your children. So that's number one. And number two, just because you fail at something doesn't mean that you're a failure. It means that there's more to learn. Uh, and we want to make sure that our children are taking on challenges, like having a mind to say, hey, I want to challenge myself because I'm not afraid of getting things wrong. If I get something wrong, it is an opportunity for me to learn. That's what we want our kids. So the way that we build their confidence is with 3 ways. And I'm going to talk about 3 ways that parents can build their child's confidence. Number one, focus on what they do well and support them in that. Support them so much in their strengths, in their natural gifts, what they're already enjoying, what they enjoy doing. When we do that, we're building them up. We're producing this positive energy that comes out of doing the stuff you love. Like, for example, you like what you're doing. It builds so much energy in the work that we do. Now, if I ask you to go and study a medical book for neurosurgeons, like, that is so boring. Like, I would hate it. So the same thing with our kids. What do they enjoy doing? If they love playing violin, then do more of that. Do more of the music and the performing, and the shy girl may come out of her shell because now she is in her element. So put her in her element so that she can shine. So that's number one. And number two is giving honest feedback. If they did not perform well and you know they did not, and they didn't even practice, then say, the other girl, she got that award because she put the work in. Did you put the work in? Could you have worked more? Yes. Well, the next time we'll try again. And it's okay to try again. You learn. That's what learning is. You cannot learn if you're not making mistakes. You have to learn from mistakes. It helps to really solidify the learning. So we must normalize, as a culture, as a society, normalize failure, saying, man, I messed that up. Let me try again. The light bulb, like, people think that it was invented and went at one shot. No, it took years of messing up before they got it right. StreamYard, it took forever before they got this thing right. They had to mess up first before we could even do what we're doing. So when we normalize messing up to get to getting something right, then it's exciting. It's problem solving. It's fun. Oh, that didn't work. Let me try this. We have to change the way that we see quote unquote failure. I don't see it as failure. I was like, that ain't work. Let me try this. You have to change your mindset. And then number 3 is having other people around you that are going to help you support your child. You got to have the right people communicating with the teachers. This is what I'm doing at home to build my child up. I'm praising their effort. I'm making sure they know that I see your hard work. It is paying off. Keep it up. Keep working hard. Wow, I like the way you hung in there. You didn't even give up. Praise the behavior you want to see more of. Don't just say, you're smart. Say, wow, you really did a good job solving that problem. See the difference? It's how we speak to our kids that sets them up.
Okay, so I think it's a very, you could say, practical examples what a mother could do, because most of them, even in your society, most of the time mothers are there to, because if it's a girl, then she's more close to the mother, because she's taking the personality of the mother. Sometimes few things are, you could say, if it's a trauma, if it's a personality, the girl is taking that personality from the mother. Even then, you can change the things you want to. You can be skillful, because that is what we are for. And I would say that if somebody needs some help, then they should go and take that help also, because sometimes as mother you are so emotional. For example, if let's say I'm working with a child and who need a feeding therapy, and mother would start crying because the child just hit me and the child throw food on me, because sometimes, because mothering is, or parenting is 24-hour job. So sometimes, she have that much emotion that she start crying for that thing. But when the child comes to us, then when we do things differently, and we both want to do best for the child. But if you think that you need a break from that thing, or you need some kind of help, then you should seek that help also, because help is like always, like you talk about yourself, that even you did not even tell me that you are special educator, but then you tell that yes you are, and you are doing stuff like that. And maybe two people are listening to each other, maybe they did not even realize that yes you have a child who have his own needs, who have special needs, and you are in this struggle for so long, like, and this is everyday struggle for you. And the child is also giving his best the way he can. So like you're very much right that we have to praise the children in any way, in every possible way. Plus if the child commit any mistake, then there should be a room for acceptance in any way. Like they need to tell you that we did this, we commit this, it is a mistake, we did this. Because sometimes we don't listen to our children and we don't give them attention. For example, you're busy on phone and you're not giving the attention to the child, then there will be a time then when the child will start seeking external validation. And that is what is going on in now era, because people are too much into social media, and they will get they start acting like strange so that they can they get the attention of other people. A lot of things are going, but that's it is a separate debate. But thank you so much for your time today, and
Thank
that was amazing.
you.
And I would like to have some other discussion with you also, because the moment you said, a lot of things are popping up in my mind. But soon we have more discussion on that. Thank you so much for the valuable information you gave, and thank you so much for sharing with us that you have a child and you are what you are doing with your children. So
And
that's the reason why the
yes,
yes.
I have a question. I have affirmations for kids that you
Okay.
can teach, work with your kids for when they're going through difficult situations. Can I
Mm-hmm.
share that with you to share with your?
Exactly.
I will send
Exactly.
that to you. Yeah, yeah, I will give that to you.
Okay. If it is in a slide form, then I will share this on the because it's very much because sometimes the words is doing all the magic. Words are magic. Oh,
Hmm.
very good. Even a smile is a magic.
Hmm.
When we are doing, even I'm doing behavior therapy. So there are few that you have to give this to child all the time. These things are not working, but eventually you have to bring that child to a place when your smile and your clap would be enough for. Why not we build that from the start? Yes, you did a good job. Oh, it's a mistake. Let's build them again. Oh, let's do it together. I mean, you start telling your teacher, your child, you're not doing this, you're not able to do this. Why don't you help your child? Why don't you do things together? So I would love to have these information, and I will share this on my with my viewers, with our viewers actually, those people who are watching us. Thank you so much for your time today, and that was a kind of emergency management, but the discussion was very amazing, and I enjoyed the discussion, and I learned a lot from you. And thanks for the positive energy, the energy you gave toward me, the vibration from you, because you remember that I told you that you got a very lovely smile, amazing, full of fun. But I think we
Thank
have to,
you.
because there's a lot of negativity in our life. Like you just said that yes, you have challenge. We also have challenges, but we have to keep a smile, because there are a lot of people who are depending on us, and as a mother, children are depending on you. So
Yeah.
I think it's very important to know this thing, because I have seen a lot of children who feel so guilty about their situation. Even
Mm.
there's a small fight with their parents, they think that it's just because of us, and it's not even in their control. It's in nobody control. The way we are, the our intelligence, our abilities, that's not in our control. But what we can do about is work hard for that and build something out of that and out of our life. Thank you so much for this discussion. We are going to end this, and thank you so much for everybody for listening us, and thank you so much for your time. We will again bother you for some interesting topic and some interesting discussion.
Thank you.
That was having you. Bye bye.